This is a map of Seoul's subway system, which many consider to be the best subway system in the world. And I completely agree. I've tried, I consider myself a little bit of a public transit nut. And every time I go to a major city, I love to try out their public transit system. And tried the systems in London, Paris, Munich, most of the major European cities, Tokyo, Hangzhou, China, Sydney. So a lot of New York City, LA, Chicago. So a lot of the major cities, and by far, Seoul subway system is the most user friendly, easiest to use, cleanest, most efficient, safest. Um, and it's just it just feels like the future basically. Tokyo is pretty close, but I would give the edge to Seoul for sure. And if you ask Google best subway in the world, it'll tell you in the AI overview, many consider Seoul Metro to be one of the best subway systems, renowned for its efficiency, cleanliness, high-tech features, including free Wi-Fi and digital signage. Um, and so it's renowned for its punctuality, clean stations, efficient operations, high-tech features. So there's free Wi-Fi on all the trains. That you'll have a 5G signal on your cell phone throughout your entire trip. You never lose signal. There's TV screens for announcement, full color signage in multiple languages. It serves most of the city. It's about 250 miles of rail. User-friendly design. There's wide platforms, easy navigation, and it looks beautiful. Lots of stations have public art installations. They're kind of mini museums, and then there's all these like underground malls next to them. So I'm gonna kind of show you a trip through the subway system, and show you what it looks like, and talk to you about the features that I think make it the best. And so here's like Fromer says, noteworthy for its efficiency, cleanliness, expansive reach. So it's actually 11 lines. Subway system really well with high-tech features and creature comforts. These include free Wi-Fi on every train, cars with TV screens, full color signage in several languages. Yes, so they announce everything in Korean and English, and there's signage in Korean, English, Japanese, and Mandarin. And there's heated train seats. All the seats are heated in the winter, and there's AC in the summer. And they don't talk about what I consider one of the best features, and I'm going to show you in the video. And then here's uh, CNN Travel. They say, if losing your phone and Wi-Fi connection fills you with dread, you might want to head to the capital of South Korea to see what's possible, befitting the high-tech look of an ultra-modern city. Seoul Metro users can continue use phone calls and internet browsing uninterrupted. So there's climate control, spotless and clean, efficient, safe, reasonably priced. So the price is $1 per trip, and then this trip includes any connecting like bus rides and stuff, as long as you get on the bus within like 30 minutes of leaving the subway station. And if you start your trip on a bus, you can end it in a subway station. It's all one fare. Since opening line one in 1974, it has become the showcase for Korean technology, attracting urban transit planners from all over the world. So, yeah, it carries almost 7 million passengers a day and about 2.5 billion rides per year. So it's extremely well utilized and well loved. I think like 50% of the commuters use the subway in Seoul. So the first thing you're gonna have to do is get this app on your phone called Naver Maps. Google Maps does not work, but Naver Maps works great. It's a Korean company app, and then you just put in where you want to go, where you want to start. Gives you all the options, what the fare price is going to be, and the estimated time. And the estimated time is very accurate, actually, pretty accurate. So this one says that you take the line 4, and then you get off at Chungmuro Station, and you switch over to line 3, and then you get off at Apgujeong Station, and then the other thing that's really cool is beyond that, it tells you which entrance and which exit of the subway station to take, because there's multiple entrances and multiple exits to every subway station, and they're usually under busy streets, so you want to end up on the correct side so you don't have to cross the street. And often to cross the street, you have to go through the subway station. There are crosswalks on the surface level, but most people prefer to use the subway as the crosswalk. So you can see there, it tells you which one, and here it'll tell you to exit on 3. So these things are numbered. You have to zoom in. I had very slow service in Korea because I don't pay for the extra 5G. I just use 2G service. So see, it says exit 3. Exit and it tells you which way to exit and which way to walk on there. So that's really nice. And so here we are, we're going into Yongsan Station. This is not one of the nice primo stations, but you can see it's very, very clean and it's orderly. In nicer stations, the architecture is much nicer and they have exhibits and stuff. And there's often large indoor malls attached to these subway stations. And you'll see here that you use a card called a T-Money card. And the T-Money card is a smart card that uses contactless payments. And you can load it up with cash, and you need to use cash. You can't load it with credit card, which is a little bit of annoyance, but you can load it with cash. And here's the best part of the subway that no one talks about is you can see that the platform and the tracks are completely separated. There is no connection to them. It's completely walled in with glass. And so you cannot get pushed in. Like there were some reports in the New York subway of people being pushed in as a train comes by and, killing them. That can't happen here because it's completely blocked off. And then the doors merge. And so here's the inside. This is kind of like a typical ridership. This is like a somewhat busy time. It can get much more packed than that, or it can be less busy like this. But look at how clean this is. There is not a scrap of dust or anything in here. It's very quiet. People are very polite. It's just not cultural to talk loudly or be rude on these trains. So people kind of keep to themselves. They're very quiet. They're respectful. Obviously you get crammed in busy times, but it's extremely clean, very, very safe, well lit, very comfortable. And then you'll see us leaving here, and what'll happen is at every stop they tell you which stop it's coming out on, and you'll see people line up on the sides, and everyone exits out the middle. And they wait for people to leave, and then they come in from the sides. It's very, very orderly. And you'll see here we're at Chungmuro Station, and if you look on the right, it tells you this is the way to transfer. And you just follow this orange line to how to get to the transfer. And again, you can see that this station and every single station in the Seoul Metro is completely enclosed like this. Number one, it's safer. Two, it keeps the platforms very clean because none of the dust and stuff from the tracks gets in here. Also, it keeps it much quieter, and there's not this whoosh of wind when the train comes in and leaves. And it's cleaner, it's quieter, it's safer. It does take more work to totally enclose the platform from the tracks like this, but I think it's just a much better experience for everyone involved. And so here we are. You see the orange line here telling you to go down to get to the station. And here we are going down, and when you go, it tells you like the next station and the end station of each side, because the subway goes in both directions. So it's very easy to figure out which way you need to go. The signage again is in English and Korean and Japanese and Mandarin. And then you see here's the rush of people coming out, and some of them are in a rush and running, but it's orderly, and people respect the norms of the thing and stay on the right. And if you as long as you understand that, you're not going to have any problems. And so to the right is the direction going the other way, and here's the map, and to the left is the direction that we want to go, and so we're going to head there. Again, you see the completely enclosed line. Now, the contactless payment, you contact it on the way out, and then if you ride a bus afterward, it uses the same fare. And again, the fare is 1,400 won, which at today's exchange rate is a little less than $1, like 92 cents or something like that. And so you see the signage here, it says the next station and the previous station, and it shows you the direction of travel. And also, when you're on the train, as it comes off the train, it tells you whether the door is going to open on the right or open on the left, so that you know which door to use. There's no question about that. Also, when you get in there, there's special seats that are reserved for elderly, people that are injured, pregnant people, and those are on the left there. And you see that they're usually open. People will not use those. Here's us going across the Han River. That's on a bridge. It doesn't go under the river, but about 70-80% of the tracks on the Seoul subway are underground. They're truly underground. So it does not take up any surface real estate. And again, a lot of them are the bigger stations are attached to these large indoor malls that are climate controlled. They have food, they have restaurants, they have shops. And so you can do all your shopping, and they have even grocery stores and stuff down there. It's actually pretty amazing. Again, I never lost travel. Here's a map of the subway. Never lost Wi-Fi signal. And here we are exiting. Again, you just exit down the middle. And when you go up, there are signs that tell you how to get to each exit. So they'll be numbered. You know what? Some stations have like 15 exits, and then you have to know which exit you go out on. And I guess after a while you can figure it out. There are signs that tell you like which buildings and which businesses are at which exit, but as a visitor you're not going to really know that. So you just count on Naver Maps to tell you which one. And here we are. We're gonna tag out here, and it tells you how much money you have left. So I have like 31 left. So I basically used up that card. It's time to get reloaded. Oh, the other great thing is that card works on buses, trains, subways, and it works nationwide. So it's as if you had a card that works in the New York subway system and the LA subway system and the Chicago subway system and Amtrak and all the intracity buses. They all use the same system. And you can see here we're at night, and there is an elementary school girl traveling by herself. And this is something you see very commonly. Young children travel by themselves on the subway because it's so extremely safe. There's basically no crime. There's no pickpocketing. There's no violence on the subway. It's like we're coming home at like 11 p.m. at night, and there's young kids coming home from, unfortunately elementary school kids have to study late into the night in Korea. That's just the way the culture is. But they are by themselves. And you can see here on the escalators, everyone who wants to stand is on the right, and then people who want to walk, they stay on the left. It just works great. It's a wonderful system. So because of this, the traffic in Seoul, which is bad, obviously, it's a city. Seoul is a city of 30 million people in the metro area, 10 million in the city proper. That's much bigger than New York City, much bigger than LA. But you don't have traffic like this. You don't have traffic like this. And, LA drivers spent 58 fewer hours stuck in traffic last year. Fewer hours. So how many hours in traffic are they stuck in? Average American spends about 300 hours driving and about 43 or 54 hours stuck in traffic. In LA, the average commuter spends 120 hours stuck in traffic. That's crazy. So instead of having subway rides where you can like watch videos or catch up on email or just relax, you have to drive being stuck in traffic for depending on where you live, between 200 and 300 hours. With 300 and 400 hours, this is average. I'm sure in Los Angeles this is up to like 400 plus hours spent driving because of the 120 hours in traffic. And I think that just think about it. There's 6.5 million drives that are taken off the streets because of the subway in Seoul. 6.5 million rides. Like, so this picture looks insane, but the number of people in this picture right here is the number of people that would be in like 1 or 2 subway cars. Think about that. That's just insane that this is the way we choose to travel in cities in the United States. And building infrastructure in America is so expensive. And I made a video like a year or two ago about that. It's because we stopped doing it, and we were good at it back in the 60s and 70s, but we stopped. And so people have forgotten how to do it. Whereas other countries like Korea, China, Japan, Europe, they've been continuously building infrastructure, subway infrastructure. So they never forgot how to do it. Like the Korean subway system has expansions and new lines and subway stations and line expansions scheduled out to 2030 and beyond. And so the Seoul subway started in 1971, it opened in 1974, and they've been building continuously since 1971. And they have plans to just build continuously as the city needs grow. And they just have this amazing system that works well, is completely safe, is extremely clean, is extremely safe, and gets you anywhere in the city within about like an hour. That's the farthest. Most trips took like 30 minutes. And you don't have to drive, you don't have to fight traffic. There's a little bit of walking involved, maybe 3-4 minutes at either end, and maybe a minute or two in between at transfers. But it gets you a little exercise. It's better to get a little exercise, and it just makes for a much more pleasant experience getting around in a city than having to deal with the traffic that I deal with whenever I go visit LA. All right, so I'm really hoping at some point America starts building good public transit infrastructure. Most of the world has it, and most of the world has it much better. Mexico City's subway is actually pretty awesome, and they charge like 25 cents or less per trip. It's not as clean. It's definitely not as clean, and it's definitely not as nice as the Seoul subway, but it works great. It's much better than this. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys.